So today is the start of Do the Thingathon. Get your paw off my laptop, you little fart. So Kanan decided he wanted to join me on my lap because, he's not, a Labrador, he's a lapdog. This is actually a Chihuahua. Hello. And Ewan's putting in pizzas for lunch, so he's very interested in all the rustling. Anywho, today is the start of Do the Thingathon, which has been hosted by Ashley from a follow. You're really not helping this. So today is the start of Do the Thingathon, and this is a readathon hosted by Ashley from A Frolic Through Fiction. That is a really hard name to say. I'm just going to restart this. Hello everyone, and welcome to another reading vlog. So this is going to be a week-long reading vlog to go along with Do the Thingathon, hosted by Ashley from A Frolic Through Fiction. I am super excited to participate in this reading challenge, and I've got a very ambitious TBR, and I will fill you in later on how much I think I need to read every day to actually hit my goals. I've got my little pal here. You're wondering what the big lump is. It's my trusty companion who's decided to sleep on my lap, which is not ideal with my trying to work here, but anyway, because obviously it is still work week, so I have got to continue working before I can start on my reading for the week, which is a bit annoying. Why does work get in the way of everything? But that it will be the plan for later. So I will catch up with you a little bit later on, and I will tell you what my TBR is for the week, and kickstarting with some evening sprints. Catch you in a bit. And we're done for the day. Pooch is still sleeping, but now it is time to make a move. Yes, so work is done on day one of Do the Thingathon. If you hear music in the background, that is us downloading Mass Effect, the second game of the Legendary Edition. So I'm not sure if you can hear that on the video, but that is what the noise is. And I just thought I'd run through quickly what my hopes are to read this week. So my main objectives for this week is to start and finish Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. I am doing Strange Along Readathon with Book Browsing Blog and co, and I have yet to start this book. Kanan in the background's getting all snuggled up for a nap. Yes, I need to start this and finish it by the end of the week because there'll be a live show coming very soon. And then From Blood and Ash, this absolute chonker of a beast. I would like to read this one. They are two of my biggest goals for the week. Kanan looks exhausted at the thought. As well as that, I'd also really like to finish some of the books that I've got currently reading on my Goodreads. So I'm in the middle of Queen of Nothing. Hop a picture there. I'm about 20% through that. I've been reading it for about 3 weeks. I need to just get a move on. I would also like to finish Rekindled Prophecy by Casey Friedman. I'll put another picture up there. I started this book again a couple of weeks ago. I think I've done like the prologue, maybe the first chapter, and I've not made much progress. So if I could push my way through those, which I'm not really enjoying either of them at the minute, but I feel like they have potential that I could enjoy them if I just give myself a kick up the bum. So that's what the Thingathon is going to do for me. And just to add on to the very ambitious TBR, I've got an audiobook that I want to listen to as well. And that, I'll put another picture up right there. This is Pain and Prejudice. This is a non-fiction book about sort of the differences looked at between men and women. How women's pain has not been taken seriously over the years the way men's has. It was a recommendation from Jean, from Jean's Bookish Thoughts, and I've been really enjoying a lot of her recommendations lately for this kind of literature. So I have got that to read as well. So, because I'm away to head out and go to the yard, I will be getting the audiobook on the go and start listening to that. I've worked out that I need to listen to about an hour, 20 at least minutes a day of my audiobook to get through that by the end of the week. And I've worked out that I need to read about 200 pages, 180 to 200 pages per weekday of my physical reading. And over the weekend, aim for like the 360 to 400 page mark. So I'm going to need all the help I can get with the sprinting and keeping myself accountable with this vlog. So I am running late, as per usual. I have got to go and get to the yard for Dylan's vet appointment. So I will be cracking out Pain and Prejudice, and I will catch up with you later on when I'm getting ready to sprint. And the first sprint has begun. So the sprints have now kicked off. The first one is 20 minutes, so I will be getting stuck into Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor, because I am still doing Strange Along, and that needs to be read by the end of the month. So that one has to be done this week. So I'm going to get stuck into this and fill you in when I get through a bit further into the book. So I think that's us into our third or fourth sprint now. I'm not sure. It is nearly 10 to 10. Poocher's conked on the couch, which is pretty cute, to be honest. And I am working my way through Muse of Nightmares. And I'm now on page 82. So I really would like to get to 200 before the end of my reading tonight. I will settle for 180 if I can't get there, but I really would like to. I'm absolutely loving it so far. It's carried on right where the last one ended. So obviously if you read Strange the Dreamer, it's about Laszlo Strange, who is an orphan, and he is obsessed with the unseen city of Weep, and he gets the opportunity to go and be one of the delegates with a group who are going to try and help Weep out, and he gets to go and discover the city that he's always been fascinated with. And there is a huge sort of cliffhanger ending at the end of Strange the Dreamer. It's a fantastic book, but it's incredibly sad at the end, and this one carries on. So there's a lot of sort of emotional turmoil in the first little while, so I'm still definitely in that stage. So I'm just ploughing my way through it. So I am going to keep reading, and I will catch up with you a little bit later. Welcome to day 2 of this DoTheThingAthon vlog. Can you tell how many attempts it took me to say that? So yeah, it is day 2, and last night I hit my targets. I read 200 pages of Muse of Nightmares, so that hit my physical reading page count, and I listened to an hour and a half of my audiobook, which is Pain and Prejudice. I am loving both books and feeling super motivated that I managed to hit my target on day 1, so obviously I have to do it all over again today. I've not done anything yet so far. I could have done, because I was working this morning and systems were down, so I literally could lie on the couch and do nothing for, a good 2 hours while systems were getting repaired, and instead I chose to nap. So that was a missed opportunity, but a very Emma one, because why would I give up a chance for a nap? Hello there. It is much, much later in the day. In fact, like 12 hours later, or something along those lines. So I didn't do hardly any reading throughout the day, but then I got stuck into my audiobook in the afternoon as my work systems went down again, which is pretty crap. So for the last sort of little while of at work, I listened to my audiobook because there was nothing else I could do. So I was listening to Pain and Prejudice. I am loving it. It is so interesting. I've recommended it now to 2 or 3 people already, because I just think it's such an interesting book and I want everyone to read it and I want to talk about it, and it's really good. I started off the sprints reading, like I said, Pain and Prejudice, and now I've swapped over to Muse of Nightmares. I've got my allotted 200 pages to get through tonight, although admittedly I'm not sure if I'm going to reach that tonight, because I spent a lot of the first parts of the sprints listening to my audiobook while I was doing odd jobs around the house, and I'm only 9 pages into my supposedly 200 pages that I need to finish by the end of the night. So I will probably read till about 11, half 11, so that's 2.5 hours. I might get there, we shall see. I'm definitely going to be reading long past the sprints, I think, but I am going to be continuing on. I think I spoke about Muse of Nightmares yesterday. Well, I will have done, because it was what I was reading during the sprints yesterday. So obviously I'm 200 pages in, or just over, and I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. They're kind of switching between what's happening on the Citadel and what's happening in Weep, and I don't know if it's I think it might be a past timeline. but I'm not 100% sure. Obviously, I can't say too much because it's the second book of the duology and I don't want to give any spoilers, but it's very, very interesting. Every perspective is interesting, which is really, really good. So I'm hoping I will enjoy it as much tonight as I did last night. But yeah, I really need to get a wriggle on and stop fanning about. So I'm going to get on with my reading because the sprint timer is clicking away. I was about to say good evening, but it is technically good morning. It is 12:05, so it's technically Wednesday now. But I was trying to read the rest of my page goal for Tuesday, and I must admit I'm 40 pages short, which I'm annoyed about. But I'm tired, I'm going to bed. I've listened to the hour and a half of my audiobooks I need to listen to. And like I say, I am 40 pages short, but like I've only got a teeny bit left of Strange the Dreamer. I'm tired. Muse of Nightmares. So I'm on page 362. So I will finish this tomorrow. Even though I haven't done all my page count, I will finish this tomorrow, which is awesome. That means it'll be 3 days it's taken me to read this book, and I'm really chuffed because I've not been that productive reading in a while. I'm pretty good at getting through my audiobooks because I listen to them when I'm driving, and I always have about 40 minutes a day minimum where I can listen to an audiobook. So I always make steady progress in an audiobook. But my reading physical books is so scatty. But setting a page count and obviously having the readathon for motivation and setting a page count for each day, it's made me so much more motivated to get through my pages. So I feel like this is something I really need to keep on doing. And at the start of the year, I wanted to change my reading habits so that I made time for reading. But like I say, setting myself a little page goal that I can hit each day is really fun. So, I mean, I don't think I would set one this tough for myself for the actual day-to-day. But I'm pretty pleased. I'm going to finish this tomorrow and I'm loving it. It's so damn good. I didn't know, I wanted to read this as soon as I finished Strange the Dreamer, but I was nervous that I wasn't going to like it as much. And it's different. It's a lot faster than Strange. But very, very good. So super excited to finish this tomorrow. I think the sprints tomorrow are Gavin's sprints on How to Train Your Gavin. And my pups just joined me, and tonight's ones were literary diversions, so Leanne's channel, so that was fun. I followed them along all night, and now me and Pop are going to bed. Don't start licking yourself on camera, that's not ideal. Anyway, we're gonna go to bed and start again in the morning. I am very tired. Oh, come on, Pooch. Good night, guys. Okay then, let's go.
Here it comes.
Hello there and welcome to day 3 of Do the Thingathon. So this is my first clip of the day, I think. I can't even remember as far back as this morning. It is 4:15. The dog's whining because he needs a pee, so I'm going to make this quick. So I've just finished work for the day. I need to go out now and pick up my car from the garage because it had to get its seatbelt replaced. Long story, never mind that. So I'm going to go do that. And then I have to go and feed Dylan and make sure he's sorted for the night and then speed back home so I can join in with these sprints that are starting at 6 o'clock tonight, which is the earliest they've started so far this week, but I want to join them. So I need to get back for 6. But an exciting thing has happened. I have gotten some book mail, which is the best kind of mail. I'm watching the DPD driver drive away actually because it didn't actually come with the post. It came with courier. So these books are ones that I have bought to add to my TBR for whatever thon, which is happening next month. So I already had 3 of the books that I wanted to read physically. I've got the rest of them on my Kindle, and then there was 2 that I didn't have any way in any format, so I've bought them. So first is Every Heart a Doorway by Shauna Maguire. And this is the first book in the Wayward Children series, which follows kids that have gone into like other worlds, like Narnia and things, but then come back. And I think they like miss their world and want to go back, or there's something like that. I'm not really sure, but this is my shortest book on my TBR for Whatever-thon. So that's that one. The dog has literally just stolen the Amazon box. Excuse me, I was using that. So when we get mail, he gets to play with the box because, you know, dogs don't get post, but he likes post. So I'm going to come home to that box being torn up into a million pieces. Anywho, carrying on. The second book that I got is something I've wanted for ages. This is Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. And this follows Chloe, who has chronic pain, and she makes a list of all these things she wants to do, and just basically to get a life. And it's meant to be hilarious and lovely and yeah, basically a romance but funny. So that is another one that is on my list for Whatever-thon. So I am going to pop these over on my book trolley, but I'll have to find a proper spot for them later because I don't have time. So I will leave the dog to destroy a cardboard box, and I'm going to have my friend, she's going to take me to pick up my car and then carry on with the busyness of today, but I will be back soon. I have done none of my reading for today. I'll be finishing Muse of Nightmares and then having to decide what is next on my agenda to read, which I think will be one of my Kindle books, because that's some of the ones that I'm less excited to read, and I feel like I maybe should push through those and not just leave them to the weekend. So I will probably do Rekindled Prophecy, which for some reason I've just lost interest in, even though I started reading it ages ago and I thought it sounded good, and now I'm a bit like meh. But I might push through that one tonight with the aid of some sprints. So that is me. I'm rushing off, very busy, and I will catch up with you in a bit. So hello there. It is now 11:45, so it is literally Thursday in 15 minutes. This has been the third day of Do the Thing-a-thon. I watched all the sprints tonight, but didn't vlog any of it because I was so engrossed in Muse of Nightmares. I have finished the book and I loved it. I loved it. It's weird. It's completely different from the first one, but like in a really good way. It's like a yin and yang kind of way. Like it really complements it. I love the ending. I love how everything resolved. So they're 5-star. Such a good book. Such a good series. I now feel like I need to go and read the other Laini Taylor books, which I didn't think I was going to do because they say that these two are better than our other ones. But I'm like, even if they're not as good as this, they're going to be pretty good if they're, you know, even a little bit like this. So I might add that to the never-ending TBR. But yeah, I'm so pleased that that's my first book of Do the Thing-a-thon finished. I obviously plan on finishing 1, 2, 3, 4 more because I've been ridiculously ambitious. But yeah, I've got 4 more to read by the end of the week. I'm gonna have to kind of pick up the pace a little bit because obviously it's taken me 3 days to read one. Although one is an audiobook, and I am obviously most of the way through that one already. I think I'm just short of halfway through. I realistically wanted to read 50 pages of my next book tonight, but I finished this book about 20 minutes ago and I don't want to read anymore tonight. I want to just let that one sink in. I feel like I'm already not enjoying the one I'm going to wait to read next as much as I could so far anyway, and I feel like reading it right after that one is not going to help it. It's not going to help it because I'm already not enthralled by it. So let's not make it try and stand up to Muse of Nightmares right away. So I'm going to sleep on it and then start the next book tomorrow. Today was the toughest day of the week so far to keep my focus. Not really sure why, but I just couldn't get off my phone. Even during the sprints, I kept kind of like flicking on my phone and speaking to people on Messenger and stuff like that. So I was a bit distracted. I did try and put on the Forest apps, but didn't really work. I just chatted to people between setting them, so it didn't really help. But it's fine. So I'm going to go to bed and get some sleep. I've literally been up to midnight every night so far this week, just to keep reading. So I'm loving the progress I'm making. I'm loving how motivated I feel. I love marking out a number of pages to read. I was watching What India Read. That's a channel I found recently through her participating in other sprints, and I really like her channel. I think she's really cool, and she was marking up pages to read in a thriller buddy read. I think they were reading like 50 or 60 pages a day or something like that. And it really helps the motivation to have like tabbed pages to know what you should read every day. So I'm going to maybe keep that up. Not with the 200 a day. That's definitely a short term kind of goal. But yeah, I'm definitely going to set myself a little daily reading goal, I think, because I do like it and I like the progress I'm making. I haven't finished a book that size that quickly in a long time. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to go to bed and try and stop yawning on camera. And I will catch up with you tomorrow for day 4 of this readathon. Good night. That wasn't the way I meant. Kanan, come! Water got you. Come on, Pupper!
Good boy.
Good morning. This is looking a lot like the start of one of my regular weekend vlogs. It's Friday, so day 5 of DoTheThingAthon. And you might be wondering where day 4 was. Because I don't think I vlogged yesterday. I'd have to go back through the footage, but I don't think I vlogged yesterday. Which kind of reflects of the fact it was kind of a poopy day goal-wise. I definitely hit the audiobook marker. I listened to an hour and a half of my audiobook. I also listened to about 45 minutes of another audiobook that I didn't intend to start this week, but did anyway, because that's just what we're like. But I didn't read any of my pages, which was a bit disappointing. I sat with the sprints and kind of just used them to listen to my audiobook. I don't know what it was. I'm just not feeling like picking up this book. I meant to finish it yesterday and haven't, but I'm going to try and read some of it today. And if I'm just really not feeling it, I think I'm just going to have to give up on it. But there's other books that I'm just more excited to read, and I don't know if it's just the wrong time or if I'm just not interested. But I'm determined to give it more of a chance because I don't really feel like I'm making a decision based on the book itself. It's more my mood. And that's frustrating me because I'm like, I should just do it and stop whinging. Anywho, so I'm going to try and read a bit more of that one today. If I give up, I'm going to switch to Of Blood and Ash, and that's a book that I'm much more excited to read. So, might do that. But, anyway, that was my lack of vlogging yesterday. And I will try and vlog a bit more today. But, you know, vlogging every day is not easy. But I didn't mean to take a hiatus yesterday. But I didn't really have anything to say because I didn't read much. So I'm heading off to go to a farrier's appointment with my horse Dylan. If you've watched my usual weekend vlogs, you know that I have a horse and he takes up a lot of my time. And also that he is currently injured and we are trying different treatments to help get his foot back to the way it should be, because it's not very good at the moment. So I'm heading off to have that chat with my farrier. I'm going to put my audiobook on while I drive to the yard and while I drive home. So hopefully that will do about 40 minutes of my daily listening of my audiobook. And hopefully that means I will actually have no excuse but to sit down and read my physical book later. Hey there, I'm once again on my nest on the couch, back home from the yard. So Dylan's sorted for the day and he's now gotten some new expensive footwear. I'm gonna have no money by the time I've finished recuperating this horse, but what can we do? But one good thing is that I've now read my daily minutes, or listened to my daily minutes of my audiobook, which is awesome. The next thing I really need to get on reading today is Rekindled Prophecy by Casey Friedman. And I was hoping to start Of Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout today. So we will see how inspired we are when it comes down to the sprints a little bit later on. But for now, I've got another 4 hours of work to clock in for. So that's what I'm going to do. We'll catch you in a bit. Bye. So got a fun little distraction while I was getting back into work for the afternoon. I got a couple of packages, which will be a couple of books I ordered. I was expecting these. So I'm doing another vlog just now, kind of reading nostalgic books from kind of like my childhood and stuff. And one of the series that I'm reading is a book, is a series by Lucy Daniels, and it's the Dolphin Diaries series, and I read this when I was probably about 8 or something, and I always thought I had the full series, and I kind of just kept them for nostalgic reasons. But it turns out I don't have the full series. So I found out there's another 2 books in that series. And despite how probably a bit daft it is to go and buy a couple of new books for small children, I had to. I absolutely had to. So this is the first one. This is Leaving the Shadows. And these are ones I've never read because I didn't know they existed. So that was that one. And the other one, I've actually forgotten what that one's called as well. Here we go. Beyond the Sunrise. So this will be, I imagine, the end of the story, really. I think this is 7 and 8. Yeah, number 7 and 8. And I only had 6 and 2 specials and did not know these existed. But I'm so chuffed I found out that they did. So I now not only get to reread books that I loved when I was a kid, I also get to finish the series or read 2 of the series that I didn't know existed and get to read them as an adult, which I'm really excited for. It's like, it's a bit daft. Like I say, they're not even middle grade. They're children's books, but I'm enjoying my little reread of them. So that was my book mail for that. So that was a fun little delivery. They're both used and they're both like super cheap. They were like a couple pounds each. So I'm very, very pleased to finally complete my collection of these. And I will love reading them. So if you want to see that vlog when it is done, I will try and remember to link it. But I'm not finished filming it yet. So obviously, because I now have 2 new ones to read. So I'm going to get back to work and stop grinning like a little child that's gotten little books. But anyway, just thought I'd pop in and say that. So we're on I think it's the 2nd or 3rd sprint of tonight's live show. And I am reading, what have I done? I've got my Kindle here and I've leant on it, so oh no, I think I'm fine. Yes, I'm reading my book Rekindled Prophecy on my Kindle. So far, I've been listening to Pain and Prejudice, though I just can't stop listening to it. It's so good. I've got just over 2 hours left, like 2 hours and 10 minutes or something. And wow, it is mind-blowing, that book. I can't stop listening, even though I need to kind of get on with my physical reads, but that is what I've been doing. So I'm going to crack on with this one, and I will catch up with you in a little bit when I actually have something to say about it, because I've only read 2% so far. Oh, hello. It is now 11:15 on Friday night, and I'm just getting ready for bed. I've had a really productive evening, actually. So I finished one of my ebooks, Rekindled Prophecy. This is the one I've been struggling to read all week because I just couldn't get myself into it. I read a few handful of pages and was like, oh, I'm just not feeling it. And I pushed my way through it tonight with the help of the sprints, and it was pants. So my original idea of if I was going to like the book or not was dead on. I didn't really. I mean, I've read it. It's another book towards my goals. I could have DNF'd it, but I've done it. I've done it now. It's gone. So yeah, I don't know what my rating will be of it. Probably about 2.5 stars maybe. I don't know. Like, it wasn't like bad, but it just not for me. not for me. There was a handful of bits I thought were interesting, and it's definitely set up for a series kind of setup, but not particularly impressed. I wouldn't be rushing to carry on. Well, I'm not carrying on, actually, so it's not so much rushing to carry on. And then I moved on to Queen of Nothing, which I was about 20% into, or 19-20% into at the start, and I'm now 24% through, so I've made some progress on that one as well. So plans for the weekend ahead is to finish Queen of Nothing as much as I can, start and finish Blood and Ash, and finish my audiobook that I've only got like 2.5 hours left on. So this is all very doable. It's going to be a lot of work and a lot of reading, but it's very doable. So I'm quite excited and pumped again for the weekend ahead. Had a few days, I had like sort of 2 days where I wasn't really feeling like I really hit my goals properly, but feel like I've made up for some lost time, gained back the ground that I had not covered, and I am going to go to bed and get ready for a very busy day in the morning. This is my first check-in for day number 6 of Do the Thing-a-thon. I don't think I checked in this morning. I think I was in too much of a rush. Although I may have, and I can't remember. Anywho, let's just continue like I have it. I have a fab. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. And time for Icicle. I'm in the middle of sprints on JD Ray's channel. And about to start the tome that is of Blood and Ash. This one and Queen of Nothing are what I have left to finish by the end of the weekend. I think it's doable. I also have just under an hour of my audiobook left. That's going to be done today or early tomorrow. I actually think I'm going to meet my target, which is insane. But I need to get stuck into reading if I am going to. Slight spanner in the works is that we've gotten friends coming round. They're from Edinburgh, and they are swinging past us on the way home from a weekend away. And I don't know how long they will be here. So they will be here for a little bit, and that will be one interruption to my reading. Hello, Kanan. And then we have other friends coming round, all within rules. It's all fine. To have a little games night, and we haven't done that in like a year since, it was like I think it was like the space between the second and third lockdown we did the last time. I've lost track. So they're coming around for a couple of hours, so that will also hinder the reading. So apart from that, we are on track to meet our targets. So I'm going to get stuck in. I'm going to continue eating my fab and start reading this book. Well excited. I'm so chuffed about how this readathon has gone. So it's now Sunday, the last day of the readathon. Yesterday's goals completely went out the window because I had some friends come round that I haven't seen in about a year, which was lovely. So I read my audiobook minutes. I have just under an hour of that left, and I will finish that today, no problem. But I didn't do my pages. And I had planned to do more reading at the weekend, not less. So I was hoping to get about 360 pages done at the weekend. That did not happen, which means I have not short of 800 pages to read today if I want to finish the books for the readathon, which it's doable, except I'm not free all day today because my friend is going competing and I am her groom and I have to go in about 20 minutes and do that. So I will be out for a good 2 or 3 hours to get that done. And I also haven't done much reading this morning. But my plan was to get up and read in the morning and catch up a little bit. And I didn't do that either. So we don't have as much of today as we would like. But that was very much my fault. Anyway. So I'm getting ready to go. You are perched on the toothbrush holder, not the toothpaste holder. You are perched on a toothpaste holder. And just getting ready to go big room, which will be great. It's a lovely day, and I'm going to take my ebook with me because I might manage to get some reading done while my friend's competing and I'm not actually actively doing something. So that's the plan. And then come home and do more sprints. I don't know if I'm going to hit the goal, but even if I don't, I've done amazing this week. So I am really, really chuffed. But yeah, I have to go continue getting ready. Hello there, I'm once again back in my little reading nest. I didn't do as much reading this weekend as I hoped because I was distracted by socialising. So I got to see some friends I hadn't seen in ages and not a lot of reading was done. However, I have now finished Pain and Prejudice, which is book number 3 of my little mini TBR for the week, which is excellent. And I am 40% of the way through Queen of Nothing, which is on my Kindle, and I'm hoping to finish that by the end of the evening. That would mean I would have read 4 out of the 5 books that I really wanted to get through, which is pretty good. I will hopefully continue on to read Of Blood and Ash before Whateverthon starts on Tuesday, but that is where I am at the minute. I have 2 minutes left of the current set of sprints, so I'm going to keep on going and seeing if I can get a little bit further on in Queen of Nothing. Come on, let's go! Whoop whoop! Yeah, that's right. Happy pooch, happy pooch, happy pooch, 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 pooch. So we just had an impromptu walk down the beach. Poocher is nice and sleepy. We're in the middle of some sprints. I'm still working through Queen of Nothing, and if it focuses, it's not going to focus. There we go. 41%. We are going to try and do this. It is 20 to 10. I think the sprints are going on till midnight. Hello, Mr. Man. Although I don't think I should stay up that late, considering it's a work night, but I wanted to finish this book so bad. So hello there, I'm here to do a little roundup of the week that was Do The Thingathon. I can't remember what my last clip was. I imagine it was in the evening and doing sprints. So that was yesterday evening, the final sprints for Do The Thingathon, and I was working through my 4th book of the week, which was Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. That is a series that I started at least a year ago, and then I used Tackle the TBR to push it into getting the 2nd one read, and then I thought I'm going to push through while it's still fresh in my mind and read the 3rd one, and I kind of started it and it languished on my currently reading list on Goodreads for ages. So Do The Thingathon was the time I was going to read that book. Now I got 60% or 60, I got about 60% of the way through, and it was coming up for the final hour, and I was like, I'm not going to finish it today, but I'm happy with the progress I've made. I'm hoping to actually finish it tonight. This is Monday, and tomorrow is the start of Whateverthon, so I am hoping to finish it tonight so I can go into Whateverthon with a clean slate. The other books that I successfully read over the course of the week were Muse of Nightmares, by Laini Taylor. This was the first book that I decided to read for Do The Thingathon because of doing Strange Along with Maddie from Book Browsing Blog. And so this was the first book that I read. I think I read this in about 3 days, which I'm pretty pleased with considering it is just over 500 pages. I don't normally read books that are this big that quickly. So I am very pleased that I read this one so fast, and I absolutely adored it. I'm sure everyone knows what this series is about. This is the story that follows Laszlo Strange. The first book in the series, excuse the dog in the background. The first book in the series is Strange the Dreamer, and that follows Laszlo Strange, and he is obsessed with the lost town of Weep. and gets the opportunity to go in search of it. And obviously it's a lot bigger story from there, but I'm not going to go into it. I'm sure you either know, or if you don't know, you should read it and find out, like I just did. So good. And this book obviously followed on from where the last one finished off pretty much immediately. And very different. The first one was very slow and whimsical and a lovely kind of beautiful reading experience and full of rich descriptions, and the character development was amazing and just everything was amazing. Like, Laini Taylor is a goddess, quite frankly. She's amazing. I don't know how she does what she does. Amazing. This was a 5-star read for me. I absolutely loved it. It was fantastic. Like I say, it felt a little bit different in vibes to the first one, but it wrapped up everything really, really well. I'm really happy with how it all ended. And this duology is now one of my favourites and I adore it. I'm trying to get the boyfriend to read it now currently. Very, very good. So I'm so happy that I read this for Do the Thing-a-thon. Another book that I read and also thoroughly enjoyed was Pain and Prejudice by Gabrielle Jackson. I listened to this one as an audiobook, and this one was kind of a look at the history of women who are suffering kind of chronic pain and how their pain has not been taken seriously as much as it would be if it was a man's pain, and also like the kind of different chronic illnesses that are not giving as much funding, and also how different medications were really tested on male subjects and are maybe not quite as effective on females, and just a whole mess of nonsense that I was vaguely aware of from reading other books on the topic. I recently read Inferior by Angela Saini, and she referenced that book quite a lot in this one. I thoroughly enjoyed reading this book. It was very well written, very well put together. The narrator was fantastic in the audiobook. I can't remember her name. It was Lucy something, I can't remember, but she was fantastic. I highly recommend this audiobook. I'm already bugging one of my friends to read it because I think she needs to read it and would find it mind-blowing as well. And yeah, fantastic book, 5 stars. Definitely happy that I read this one. This was also my Tackle the TBR book for May, which the prompt was just read a non-fiction book, and that was one that was on my TBR that I kept wanting to get to but never quite picked it, and I don't know why. I think I was just not wanting it to not live up to my expectations, but it did. I normally do a separate reading vlog for Tackle the TBR, but I haven't this month just because it was in this one. But like I say, very, very enjoyable, and everyone needs to listen or read this book. It was really good. So one of my main goals for this week was to clear my currently reading shelf on Goodreads, and I mentioned that Queen of Nothing was one that was languishing there for quite a while. Another one that was there for at least 2 weeks and I hadn't got around to finishing it was Rekindled Prophecy by Casey Freeman. I got a free copy of this book from Book Sirens in exchange for a review, which I now need to go do as I finally finished the book. But I just kept avoiding reading this book, and I had other stuff going on when I was trying to finish it, and then I forgot about it, and then I picked it up again, and I could just never quite click with it. And I thought, no, I will read it during this readathon. I will have time and dedicate my week to getting through this book, and that'll be worth it. I did not like this book. So this book, I don't really know how to explain it. It follows guardian angels, and basically their job is to look after people who are in trouble somehow. And the main character is called Graylin, and she starts off with her being like a new archangel, it starts off with her being a new guardian angel, and she's just finished her training, and then it goes through hundreds of years to a present kind of day incident where she's at a wedding, and her arch nemesis is a dark guardian, and he has been kind of plaguing her for years and getting in the way and trying to mess up her saving people. She doesn't really know why, but he's always been hanging around. I did not like it. I didn't like the characters. I thought they were very blah. I didn't understand why they were doing what they were doing. It was all very much kind of Buffy-esque fight scenes with like witty banter, but like there was no depth behind it at all. I just didn't really connect to the characters at all. I ended up kind of mainly skim reading it because I was kind of bored. There were some aspects to the plot that I found interesting. I've just kicked the camera. There was kind of a prophecy aspect with like what's the word? What is the word I am looking for? like a seer type person. She saw visions of one of the people involved, and her parts were really interesting, and there was definitely like laying down material for the series going on. But as a book on its own, it wasn't satisfying. Like, it just kind of, it laid down some threads that could potentially become something. The plot was just random. It just ended up with her trying to save a wedding, which she did do. But it all just seemed a bit, I don't know, mechanical or something. I just wasn't keen. There was something seriously missing from this book, and I'm not going to continue with the series because I didn't like anybody enough to continue. I also kind of thought this was like a paranormal romance. There was no romance at all. Like, there's chemistry between like Graylin and Kale, like the Dark Guardian, but nothing ever happens. There's just some tension. So I imagine that maybe we'll go into that, but I'm like, I don't really know what I was meant to get out of this book. It was just very much suffered from being a first book, laying the stuff for the next ones, but not good enough to actually make me want to continue to see what happens. So that was a dud. I don't know what I'm rating it yet. It'll be probably between a 2-star and a low 3-star maybe. But despite the fact I didn't enjoy it, I am glad that it's done and it's off my currently reading shelf. So it was a win overall. One other book that I did want to read during this week was Of Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and I did manage to start that one, and then the puppy decided he wanted to eat the book, so that kind of put a scupper on that plans. So it's now going to carry over into Whatever-thon, the new copy, and we will finish Of Blood and Ash, or essentially restart the small amount that I read and finish it during the month of June for Whatever-thon. But yeah, that one just wasn't happening this week. I was meant to start reading it at the start of the weekend and had unexpected visitors, which I can't complain. It was very, very nice. And then, like I said, Puppy decided it was better as a chew toy than for Mum to read. Thank you for that, Kanan. Anyway, so over the course of the week, I think I read just over 1,300 pages, which I've not read that much in a week in a long time. So it was a very, very successful week overall. And yeah, I love it. And I hope that Ashley from Frolic Through Fiction does another Do The Thing-a-thon later on this year. She says she was probably going to plan on doing it. So I'm really keen for her to do that again because I loved it. And I hope you enjoyed seeing what I got up to reading this week. Let me know in the comments below if you did Do The Thing-a-thon, what you managed to achieve over the course of the week, any good books, any bad books, or just what you were reading or doing over the course of the last week in general. I'd love to hear from you. And I will see you in another video very soon. Bye.